When I fell asleep last night, I had wind speeds at about 60 kilometers an hour. And when you're sleeping inside of a leaf-sprung car like this, it's kind of like sleeping on a boat. And something else really similar to sleeping in a boat when I'm sleeping inside of this is there's a lot of water involved. So right now I'm just enjoying the last break in the clouds before this shitstorm hits the fan. And supposedly it's going to rain for the next 40 hours. And a lot of people making videos about traveling with a car will probably come up with something like surviving 48 hours in a rainstorm. Will I make it out alive? Whilst in Norway, this is just another regular Monday morning. And since it is Monday, I were going to drive to the next town over to pick up a package, but the application on my phone is saying that it's not getting delivered until Tuesday. But since there's a good chance there's a lot of wind coming together with all of that rain, I'll drop my elevation from 1300 meters down to maybe 1100 in a valley down below this plateau. So this morning I'm not driving to do any real mileage, I'm just dropping down to be a bit less exposed. I'm just looking for a place with enough room for me to set up a tarp, because as of now it's kind of sunny, but it would be nice to have it up and ready before that rain comes. Yet again, if there's a lot of wind coming together with that, I will have to take it down again. But that's life. People leaving trash underneath rocks. The reason for the weird parking is I'll try to use the back door, a tarp and this hill to make some sort of a shelter from both the wind and rain. And the car is parked in low range 4-wheel drive with the handbrake on and is also on its way up those rocks. So there's no way this can roll over the top of those. And underneath one of these rocks I also found a smashed beer can, which is just a shitty move. Because now I have to fix that. And this is smack down next to a road, but this is not exactly highly frequented, so I'm guessing maybe 1 or 2 cars will pass the next 24 hours. When there's a lot of wind, anything that can move will move, so I'm fixing down any movable parts of this setup. And I'm grabbing one of the small tarps for the back of the car. And the thought behind this is I'll be able to fully secure the tarp over this hill, which is mostly leftovers from road construction. And yesterday's storm came from that direction, so I'm basing this setup on that 1-day research. So at least for now, I'm kind of nestled in here with no wind where I'll actually stand and make meals. And we'll see when the rain comes. And the good thing with only using a cheap tarp like this is I can set it up in 100 different ways. So now I've gone the extra mile to use the tarp poles to stretch everything out and not just the guy lines. And something easily overlooked is how much of a wind sail these become, so you need to secure the guy lines a bit better than just sticking a plug in the ground. And the last thing I'll set up now that I actually have sun is the bed, because it's really nice having that set up when the weather is good instead of doing it in pouring rain. I'll even set a timer for you setting up the bed. 15.7. And that's even when I ran into some issues with the Velcro of this sticking to the mattress and I couldn't get the bed platform onto the hinges. So I'll give it another try, another day. It's kind of weird when you know it's going to rain soon, but as of now, it's still good because I'm not planning any hikes. I'm not planning any drives. I'm just sat here waiting. Well, on paper, I am doing something, but it does feel like doing nothing because I'm usually always on the move in some sort of way. But in about 1 hour, I guess I'll regret saying that. It just became a lot warmer and the wind also stopped. But a drawback to that is there's now a ton of mosquitoes, so it's at least something positive about this. But if you really dislike small bugs like that, you shouldn't camp too much on these tundras, because this is prime real estate for mosquitoes. There's a swamp, marshlands, river, lake, everything a mosquito would like in life. It's still not too bad being outside, and it does look like the darkest cloud is passing over a town down there. But it's not exactly sunshine coming my way from that direction either. And during like half an hour, my legs got absolutely bombarded by mosquito bites, which is also the only part of me not wearing any technical clothing, so that's a lesson learned to the next time. There's not anything at the back of the car taking damage from water, so I'll just climb into bed and leave this open, because it's actually kind of nice being inside of a shelter like this and just looking at the rain. And it's not like there's too much for me to do outside now, either way. Whether you're camping in a tent or in a car, the sound of rain hitting a tarp like this is really mesmerizing. Especially when the air temperature is not even that cold, it's not that windy. So I can just lay here and look at it without this being a big problem. And I always forget that I can actually jack this up. And now it's even better. And the only thing I feel like I'm actually missing now is the diesel heater I need to install, but that has at least left Germany. So it's getting closer. It's only 1 o'clock, so the day is going to become really long if I only lay here. So I might put on a rain jacket and go for a walk later. And in situations like that, having a diesel heater at full blast when I get back to the car is going to be really nice. But instead of going on a walk, I could also just stay here, eat this chocolate, and make more food. And this specific chocolate is considered to be a must-have if you're hiking in Norway. And inside of the wrapper there's 9 different rules to live by if you are in the mountains. Number 8 is there is no shame in turning back. And number 9 is seek shelter and save your energy for later, which I think is what I'm doing right now. The temperature has dropped a bit, so it's not exactly warm anymore. But the really thin down jacket I'd like to have is in a bag on the roof. So I'll check if there's a wool sweater or something inside of this. And there is. I had some leftover fish soup and I can't keep open containers anywhere, so I'm getting rid of that together with some pasta. And I'll also add some spices to this. I only had like 1/3 of a soup pack for this, so I added some pesto as well. And now it's looking and smelling a lot more appealing. And tasting good as well. And for reference, the air temperature now is about 10 degrees, and right before the rain started it was about 20. Every single forecast I can find says that it's raining quite a lot right now, which is why it's really hard trying to plan anything in this country. And I've been reheating the same cup of coffee about 3 times now, so I think it's about time I get a thermal cup. And now, 10 minutes after the rain stopped, it's back at 20 degrees. What a silly country. And my predictions was most certainly correct because the mosquitoes are back. And now it's sunny and raining at the same time. Of course, the bugs are really happy about this, and the temperature in the sun right now is 38 degrees. That is not the air temperature, it's in direct sunlight. Somewhere inside of this car or on the roof, there's a bottle of mosquito repellent, and I have no clue where, but that would be really nice right now. I'm not sure if this camera is able to pick it up, but the air around the car now is just full of them. After going through every bag on the roof of the car, I eventually found this in one of the door pockets. So now I'll just wait and see if this actually makes a difference, because I have a feeling stuff like this usually never works as well as they promise. Right now I smell absolutely horrendous. I can see a lot of mosquitoes around me. I have one inside of my ear. But do they bite? That's the real question. It's a new day and also a new weather forecast, because these seems to change every hour. And I'm leaving this region now because I'm going to do some shopping and also pick up some mail today. But I have to drive down from the mountains to pick up stuff at the store. And after that, it just makes sense to keep on moving, because I am after all heading north. The bottom of the gear selector, it's supposed to be a rubber ring around a metal ball going down into the gear selector shafts, and I'm 99% certain that that has deteriorated and fallen off, because this sounds and feels like it's metal to metal, and there's more play than what it's supposed to be. So I need to fix that, and that's absolutely not a problem, but it just means I need to be a bit more careful with hitting the right gears in the right spots, because without that ring you are able to squeeze the gear selector out between some of the gears. The gear selector with that rubber ring is one of the things I haven't restored. There's also a spring inside of there that would probably be nice to change, and since I have to take it out to fix the rubber ring, I might as well change that spring as well. For a very long time, I haven't had a microphone receiver for this camera. And the reason for that is I changed my microphone setup from Rode over to DJI, mostly because it's easier to use, but I'm not sure how important this is to you. By the way, yes, this is safe, but I had problems finding a flat place to sleep, because right now I'm on the main road leading north, which is full of traffic. So I pulled over to the side in the only spot I could find without any big white camper vans. And by the way, this tiny car all of a sudden looks kind of huge. I didn't drive too far from the main road because this is the direction I'm driving. So the main road is like 100 meters in that direction, and that's going to be really nice tomorrow when I'm leaving. And before I drove up here, I filled up a full tank of gas and I bought some food. So tomorrow morning, I'll get up for sunrise and I'll try to plan the next couple of days. But now it's 8 o'clock and I have a good couple of hours in front of me inside of the car where I'm going to work on some photos. And I'm not really that hungry, so I'm not going to make anything right now. Apart from this. By the way, a lot of cabs or cabs like these next to the road are often closed. And then tourists come here and then they complain online and say, why is everything closed? And the reason for that is stuff like this. Because more likely than not, this is probably private, but people have always been kind of free and open to use stuff like this. And in the rest of Europe, you're basically not allowed to camp with a car anywhere. So maybe not do stuff like this. And the reason why I don't have any trash in the car is because as soon as I pass by a public trash can, I leave it there. And if you are in a remote place for a while, just leave it in a bag on the roof. But I'm probably ranting to the wrong crowd because I assume that everyone watching these don't do stuff like that. But the reason why I'm always kind of ranting about stuff like this is because I started to travel with a car full-time back in the end of 2018. And just since then, a lot of wild camps has been gated off and closed down permanently. And a lot of camps that used to be free are now paid to use. And you might think, well, it's only a fraction of a percent being reckless. But if you are a local in a tiny place, you'll obviously be able to take notice of that. And if you own the road and the lots right next to the road, of course you're going to close that off. And this is the exact reason why I don't mention specific spots or even the towns I travel through, because that and apps like Park4Night is killing spots like these. But anyhow, I'll get to bed, do some work, and then I'll film more tomorrow when I wake up to a beautiful sunrise. Fingers crossed.